Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to a video preview for Game 7 of Civ4 AI Survivor, Season number 6. Let's go ahead and load the save game file and take a look at the map. This will be one of our smaller games with only 6 AI leaders as opposed to having 7 in the game. Alright, so first up, let's go ahead and get a quick view of the zoomed out map. This is a smaller map because we only have the 6 AI leaders in it. We have 3 AIs on the east side and 3 AIs on the west side, and then 2, 2, 2 as far as north to south goes. Let's start by looking at our seeded leaders, and our pool 1 leader for this game, one of the community's favorite leaders, is Mansa Musa. Financial, spiritual, known for being one of the best techers in the game. If this guy is able to develop in peace, he has a really good chance of just running away with the match because his economic ability is pretty crazy. It's a bit of a dry start, but he does have a wet corn and then has the plains cattle and has a floodplains tile. So we'll see how Mansa's able to spread out from this position. The other seeded leader for this game is Mao Zedong at the other end of the Pangaea at the southwest corner. Mao is a leader who is surprisingly solid from an economic perspective. His traits are not especially good, expansive, protective, not great for AI survivor purposes. But as far as leaders go, Mao's been pretty successful in past years. He's made it to the playoffs a bunch of times. He's had a number of first and second place finishes. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a seeded leader. I don't know if this is the greatest capital for his starting techs because China has agriculture and mining, and he's got the seafood start and the sheep start, but he does seem to have a fair amount of space to spread out here in the southwest corner of the map. And I suspect a number of people are going to back Mao just because he's done pretty well in these past games. All right, as for the other leaders, our unseeded leaders in this game, we've drawn another religious leader here in Isabella. She's pretty straightforward as far as her traits go. Spiritual, expansive. She starts with mysticism, also starts with fishing. Is lucky to have a seafood start, actually lines up pretty well with their starting text. Izzy's pretty straightforward. She's going to found a religion. She's going to defend that religion to the death. She's going to like anyone who runs that religion. She's going to hate anyone who doesn't run that religion. She had one very good game, I believe in season 3. It was either season 3 or season 4, where she took first place. Has basically done nothing in all her other games. So there you go. All right, next up to her north, we have Methmet. Methmet is actually the defending champion of Season 5 of AI Survivor. He had never won a match until he won the Season 5 championship. So how much you read into that is kind of an open question. He's a leader who is kind of standard, militaristic, somewhat low peace weight. The most defining characteristic of Methmet is he's a militaristic leader who does not declare war at pleased, or at least doesn't plot war at pleased. So he often doesn't fight as many wars as a lot of the other militaristic leaders. So he's drawn one of the central starting positions in this map. Does have a start that syncs up pretty well with the starting text. He's got the wet rice for his agriculture tech, and he'll have some early happiness from this ivory. But he is in the jungle belt in the middle of the map. Whether he goes north or south at the start of the game is probably going to be pretty significant, so we'll see where he sends the initial settler. All right, over here, we have one of the 3 Russian leaders in Civ4 has been drawn into this game. This is Peter. Philosophical, expansive. His traits are a little bit weird. They don't really have a lot of synergy. Peter's another one of the militaristic leaders, low peace weight, fairly high aggression rating. Has done reasonably well in past seasons of AI Survivor. He's somewhat close to being a seeded leader. If he has a good season in Season 5, or Season 6, excuse me, he might be able to make it there. Looks like a pretty solid start position. I think the fact that he has copper here is going to like, a lot of people are going to like the fact that he's got the copper here. So we'll see where he chooses to go. The north side of the map has some high peace weight, more peaceful leaders, and then we've got these more militaristic leaders with low peace weights in the center, and a lot's going to depend on which direction they choose to move. And then finally here in the northwest corner, we have Roosevelt. Roosevelt's one of the American leaders in Civ4. He's on the peaceful end, doesn't really distinguish himself that much. He's not as peaceful as Gandhi, but still one of the more peaceful leaders in this game. Has a really nice capital here with the corn and the copper here. Roosevelt does tend to build a fair amount of wonders with his industrious trait. We'll see if he gets sucked into Wonderland or if he's someone who actually gets out and expands on the map. So, like I said, we shall see what happens. He may be able to team up with Mansa Musa and have a good result in that regard. All right, so I will show the resources again because I know a number of people want to make sure that they have this information when they're making their predictions. If you're new to this series, we do run a picking contest for these games. It'll be linked underneath the video description. We try to guess who's going to be the winner, who's going to be the first to die, what the victory condition and victory date will be, that sort of thing. So this game will be taking place on this upcoming Friday as I record this video, June 25th, 2021. So June 25th, 2021, starting at noon Eastern. It'll be on the live stream. Most of you watching this are probably familiar with this by now, but we always pick up some new folks. So hope you'll join us for game number 7 of Civ4 AI Survivor season number 6. See you then. Until then, take care.